All right, here with Jeff Ahlum. And Jeff, a little loud. We got some late models turning some hot laps here behind us, but what a fantastic 3 nights here in the Carolinas.
Absolutely. Who would have thought we bring the modified south, other than Florida, and on 2 totally different racetracks, we end up with 3 unique races, 3 different races for sure, and the outcome the same, I guess you could say, but it was a great battle for about 2/3 of the race.
Yeah, Larry White, Stuart Friesen, 2 guys we see win all the time, 2 guys that have won multiple races this season already, so it wasn't really a shock to see them up there battling. Then you throw in Eric Rudolph, who already has a $10,000 win at Alltech this past February.
Absolutely, and you could see the guys seemed a little more comfortable tonight. The track a little bit bigger, 3/8 of a mile, and the track was wide last night, but just the bull ring effect, but they seemed a lot more comfortable tonight. They were really letting it all hang out, if you will, and they were really flat-footing it, and Stuart Friesen won, but he didn't start right up front. He had to work for it from, I believe, 7th or 8th starting spot, and he really worked and worked hard. And some other guys got rewarded, such as Danny Creedon tonight, for a good finish after almost getting rewarded the last 2 nights.
Yeah, the guys that finished 2nd and 3rd, Eric Rudolph finished in 2nd, and he needed this. He had a really tough opening night on the swing down here. You know, he had Richie Pratt sitting on top of him, and that's never a good way to start off the week.
Absolutely not. And another guy that we need to mention, he really needed it as well, Peter Britten. He had 2 awful nights. His pit crew was teasing him after last night's performance. They gave him a special award for being involved in a lot of accidents. A little joke amongst the crew. But tonight, a really solid performance for Peter, and he showed what he's really made of out there tonight.
And I believe he got the Perseverance Award as well as
$1,556 in memory of Marcia Wetmore. So that was a great bonus in addition to the purse money.
Yeah, and again, we want to say thank you to everybody associated with the Wetmore family. And Marcia Wetmore, obviously a huge loss for the racing community. And our hearts and prayers go out to the friends, family, and everyone that knew Marcia. She had such a huge impact on racing. So it was really special for us to have the opportunity to be a part of that award and to do that in her honor here tonight. Again, thank you to everybody that helped raise money for that. That was just spectacular.
Absolutely. A great lady, and she did a lot for racing. She's been out of it a little bit lately, but everybody who knew what she did back in the outlaw circuit era, great gesture on behalf of all those people. Kevin Rice organizing that. He lives down here now, but he spent time up home in our area, and a great gesture that he organized on behalf of the family in her honor, and a guy who really deserved it. He needed some repairs on his car after the last 2 nights. Peter Britten comes out of here with it.
Yeah, so again, your top 5, Stuart Friesen with a win, Eric Rudolph, Larry White, Peter Britten 4th, Danny Creedon rounded out the top 5. 6 through 10 was Billy Decker. 3 6th-place finishes. I didn't even notice that until I just looked at it. 3 6th-place finishes. That's consistency.
Absolutely. Did you mention Danny Johnson was 5th?
No, I did not. I said Danny Creedon. Danny Creedon.
Okay.
It's loud out here. Don't mind us. We got a super late model turning some laps behind us. We didn't expect that, but hey, it happens.
Yeah, Danny Creedon should have had a top 5 last night. Had a flat tire on the last lap. Next to last lap, broke an axle the previous night, broke an axle last night. Didn't get a decent finish. He should have had 2. Finally got one tonight. Billy Decker, Mr. Consistency, had a fight from behind one of the 2 nights at Tri-County. Gets another good finish. And I wanted to mention Danny Johnson because he got the hard charger last night, 29th to a top 5. He started 25th and got 10th tonight.
That's a pretty good night. The rest of the top 10 here, 7th was Tyler Dipple, so nice rebound for him after everything that happened to him last night. Matt Shepard, finally a top 10. It has been a struggle for Matt, and he looked good. Just looked like the car came on at the wrong time as the track kind of got very bottom dominant down here in 1 and 2, and the guys were talking about how good that was in the moisture down there.
Yeah, he got a top 10 after he had a restart at the rear after an accident and a pit stop. And he was really charging, as you said, about halfway through. Then the car sort of leveled off, and he settled in for a top 10. But it's still a nice run considering what could have been.
Yeah, and Danny Buck, another guy that needed a top 10. I mean, we could give 15 hard luck awards down here. You know, there was so many guys that just, things did not go their way, but finally a couple of them tonight were able to right the ship and at least leave the Carolinas on a high note.
Yeah, absolutely. Danny's another one, needed it. got in an accident the first night in his heat race. Last night got in a jingle in his heat, got in a jingle in the feature early, dropped out early. Was not a good night either night for him. Still had a smile on his face when he pulled through the pit gate tonight and went out of here with a good finish. Billy Powell Jr. not a good night. No. He had a good night to start off with. Dropped out last night while running in the top 10, I believe, with motor issues, and then blew up after making the redraw in his heat race tonight. Did not start the feature, so another guy that ended up on a sour note after some other guys that ended up with a rebound night tonight.
Yeah, so there's a quick rundown there. Let's take a look at the Sportsman quick for you. If you hung with us through that one, a barn burner early. I mean, there was some great racing in that 602 Sportsman race.
Yeah, the modified feature were about 2/3 with the Larry Stewart battle. Sportsman, I believe Timmy Hartman started 7th or 8th in that one, and it wasn't just him. It was a lot of guys up front there. We're going at it hard. Eric Corman was in the mix there. I forget who else was up there at the moment.
There you go. So it was Tim Hartman went right, and Brian Calabrese and Eric Corman with the 3 guys battling.
Oh, man, they were going at it hard. And Scott Hitchens, who started back there in 8th spot with Timmy Hartman. He was rim riding. He was up to, I believe, 4th spot when he ended up getting a little too high, caught the wall, knocked himself out of the race with a flat tire and a bent front end. But there was at one point they were 3 wide for the lead, 3 wide for 4th. I mean, the first 15, 20 laps were awesome.
Yeah, it was a great race. So again, Tim Hartman, Brian Calabrese, Joe Toth made a late charge there. Eric Corman and Tanner Van Doren getting up there, the youngster.
Yeah, teenager. He usually runs slingshots at the Kutztown Action Track, and he has been running some sports and races, just a teenager. And Dad's been getting him into the big car when he can here and there, and it's really paying off. He did a couple of impressive runs at Georgetown, and now paying off here at Cherokee tonight.
Well, Jeff, it's over. It's done. And there's but there's one thing I got to remind you of. Who do you think won the points?
I haven't had time to check. I've been too busy figuring out special awards. I'm not doing that to be a smart aleck. I had to figure out the hard charge and all that for Brett. So I just finished all that when you called me over here. So.
Well, I can tell you this: I was leading coming into tonight, and then I took the. You guys both gave me. You passed up Stuart Friesen. Now, to be fair, I would have picked either one of the 2 guys that you guys picked, because you had Eric Rudolph and Larry White. I would have went with one of those 2 guys. So I would have been right there with you.
I know. But you figure Stu wins so many times, you know, that sooner or later he could have some of Matt Shepard's not so good luck, which he did last night, but he rebounded so quickly. It's just like the years when Bob McCready was hot, he was hot. When Danny Johnson and Brett Hearn were hot, they were hot. Right now, it's Stuart Friesen. He is just on fire the last 2 or 3 years, and it's just started again this year.
And that's how it goes. Racing is cyclical. It's weird like that. Like as we were mentioning during the broadcast, the racing gods sometimes giveth, and other times they taketh away. And when they taketh away, they are not kind. Yeah,
that's for sure. And don't get me wrong, preparation is the key to success. He's got a lot of good guys behind him, and they give him a good car. But you see some of the moves he makes out there sometimes. Yeah. I mean, he does not give up. Just like last night, he could have pulled in after he got knocked out of the lead, and he comes back for a top 3 finish. He just does not give up, and that's why he does what he does, and he's racing NASCAR and that kind of stuff. So it's interesting. It's fun to watch. I remember the days of watching Billy Powell Sr. when he ran at Flemington. Those guys just do not give up, and that's why they win a lot of the races they do.
Yeah, tonight, you know, we saw the last 2 nights searching around. He was not happy just following Larry. He had to move. He had to try something, and he finally was able to get it done. So again, Stuart Friesen got the win, Eric Rudolph 2nd, and Larry White 3rd. And Jeff?
And Larry's going to get one soon at these short track Super Series.
Yeah,
he's knocking on the door.
Yeah, he's close. So final thoughts here from the swing through the Carolinas.
Well, final thoughts is number 1. We finally got to see some racing after being locked up for 3 months, and hopefully things will be loosening up soon at home, we hope.
Oh, let's hope.
Let's hope, especially now that the weather's warm. It was really warm down here today.
My God, it was hot, all right? And I am not an in-shape guy unless you count round as a shape. It was hot.
Yeah, I believe I didn't look officially. I think it had to be 90 and a bit humid. Super
a bit humid?
Sun baking us, but we probably got sunburned today. But yeah, so it was great to see racing, hear the motors, see the people, smell the fuel. Great to see that part of it. Great to get back into the swing of things a little bit. Hopefully this continues. And thankfully we got to present some racing to all the folks at home. I know they're just as cooped up as we are. So it's great that we have an outlet like Dirt Track Digest TV that we can do this. Great to see the folks that were able to come here tonight on a limited basis. And I know the guys are anxious to get out on the track. That's why so many of them drove here to participate tonight. So hopefully this is breaking the barrier and we can get things going, because we're just getting into summer now, Memorial Day weekend. We wish everybody at home a happy Memorial Day weekend and hopefully a happy summer ahead.
Yeah, Jeff, and my final thoughts from here before we wrap this up. What a great time. And first off, I got to say thank you to everybody on Dirt Track Digest TV, all of you folks that watch at home. But I got to thank the staff. Our guys down here worked their butts off. We got AJ on the camera. Bobby Sweeney's running the camera right now for us. He's been doing a little bit of everything. You got Matt Thomas back there. Mike Thomas was here with us today and just helping us out. And again, we appreciate everybody. We had a minimal staff, as you said. 4 of us were doing this. At times, I'm a camera guy. I'm an announcer, you know, and we were fortunate, and we thank you, thank you, thank you. Without you folks at home taking care of us and supporting us like you've done, we would not have been able to pull this off. You know, Brett Dale took a huge risk here with the Short Track Super Series. We're going to run with no fans, and because of you guys, we were able to make this a success. And we were able to bring our style of cars to some really different people. You know, everybody we talked to down here just is like, these cars are, I'm going to say, badass. You know, like I heard that today in the grandstands. Every time I walked down with a microphone, everyone was like, oh, these cars are great. You know, talking to Matt, the other announcer, they were just thrilled to see our style of racing, and it was really cool for me to be able to be here to announce these races and to bring our racing to people that don't have the chance to get to see it, and to have them have that reaction like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, and not only that, we could see them jumping up and down in the grandstands when Larry and Stu were battling for the lead, because they now know Stu's name being in NASCAR, and this is NASCAR country down here. So a lot of people were jumping up and down the grandstand, and that was great. Speaking of skeleton staff, so did the Brett Deo and his staff. We had I'd say half, not less than half of what we usually come down here with, did the same thing. He didn't know what to expect, so we were sort of restricted, especially over at the other track, of what we could bring, and we pulled it off somehow.
Yeah, we were all playing roles that we don't normally roll. You were a tech inspector for a little bit. You know, I'm a camera guy, but we got through it. We got it done, and hopefully you at home, we took a little bit of the pain away. You know, I feel it. Not being able to go to the races, you know, by now we've all been to multiple races, etc. And I definitely understand, and I get your pain, but you know, hopefully we'll get open soon, as Jeff said multiple times. I'm ready to go racing. Now, coming up, Dirt Track Digest TV. Jeff's got to go home. He's got to go back to reality. We're going to take a few days off here, and then we are going to be heading west with DirtTrackDigest.tv, and we are going to Chatham Speedway in Chatham, Louisiana, and we are going to have 3 nights of action coming up for you for the Southern Super Modified Series, which is our Modifieds. That's right, our Modifieds run in Louisiana, and we've got some big-name stars that are here tonight that are going to head that way. And again, we'll have more information on that show, but we're going to present to you Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The Saturday program going to pay $10,000 to the winner out there in Louisiana, and we're pumped about that. And Jeff, I wish you could come with me. I've had so much fun working with you.
Absolutely. One other thing, don't forget Short Track Super Series. We don't know what's around the corner, but follow us on shorttracksuperseries.com and on Facebook, Short Track Super Series, to see what's coming up next for us. And Mike, as you said, it's awesome. We don't get to do this very often.
Never.
Thank you. It's been an awesome time the last 3 days working with you.
And thank you for being a good sport. I pick on you a little bit, and I put you on the spot the other night, and you took it well, and you were right with us. And hopefully the fans at home enjoyed it. And thank you to the people that sent us messages saying how much you've enjoyed this, giving us suggestions on things like, hey, you know, you guys did this great. You know, could you talk about this a little bit more? You know, we tried to bring the best experience to the race fans we can, because at the end of the day, we're race fans. And if we were home watching, we want to make sure the product is there for you. So again, thank you to everybody. Jeff, again, thank you. Thank you to everybody at the Short Track Super Series, and we'll catch you down the road here in a couple of days. Just a couple of days. I get to do this all over again. Again, knock on wood here. There's wood here. No, that's an iron bar. Hold on. That's wood. I'm going to knock on wood. All right, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to it. But again, thank you, everyone, and for everybody at the Short Track Super Series, for everybody with DirtTrackDigest.tv, for Jeff Ahlum, my name is Mike Mallett, and to you, the race fans, thank you so much for following along with us. Thank you for supporting us, and we'll catch you here in a few days.